Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Dimaga and Jinro here on Kulas Ravine. I've already seen half of, or the first 5 minutes of this replay. My apologies, I started to record, had to take care of some issues, and now I've seen the first 5 minutes, so my predictions for the first 5 minutes of the game are going to be spot on. Dimaga spawning over here on the bottom left-hand side as the red Zerg, meanwhile Jinro spawning on the top left-hand side as the yellow Terran. This is taken from Zotac. I believe this is game 1 in a best of 3 matchup here on Kulas Ravine. Now, I'm going to go over, answer a couple questions. People from StarCraft Legacy, the website that I am associated with, have asked me to start giving a little bit of gameplay tips to try to perhaps improve, as a lot of you guys are watching these replays not just as, esports, but try to improve your gameplay as well. I believe I did that in the Roaches versus Gion game, talking about control groups, talking about how to use Chrono Boost better, talking about warp gates as well. I will be going into a little bit of the Terran and Zerg, perhaps trying to give a little bit of advice as well. Now, obviously, one of the things that players should automatically know, if you haven't noticed already, is the auto mining. So whenever you see the command center, you'll already notice that high level players have a little arrow pointing out towards a mineral patch. What that means is that the instant that SCV is built, it will go ahead and go over there and try to start mining. In addition, that SCV will also start mining from different mineral patches as well if there is already a line of two workers trying to get from that one mineral patch. Back over here we have a front door on this, a front door being built by Jinro. Jinro trying to seal off this front door, and we'll see what exactly is going to be happening. We have a spawning pool down now, and we have an extractor already gathering gas. I would have normally assumed that there was going to be some sort of baneling harass based upon the amount of gas that Dimaga was going to go for, but you'll just have to wait and see whether or not that is in fact the case. More drones being produced. Taking a look at the income, Jinro sitting on 15 harvesters while Dimaga sitting on 14. However, he is in fact getting that queen now, so that queen will be able to start spawning larvae. Jinro a little bit behind in terms of, or now getting still more harvesters and also getting that mule in, so Jinro going to be able to start mining much more quickly than Dimaga at this stage. Now on this front door, it is very, very difficult for Zerg players to really be able to bust through with a baneling push. I think I'm going to try to find one of my replays where it is like a baneling push and a breakthrough, as the reactor or the tech lab down over here makes very, very little room for this supply depot to be broken in, and you can also build additional supply depots here and here, enabling you to essentially double wall, and that works out fairly well. Reactor being placed down by that barracks, I can't imagine him massing up Marines, so most likely going to do I guess a reactor switch or an add-on switch from this barracks and this factory. Back over here we have a queen now joining in, trying to take down these destructible rocks, as we already have a tech to tier 2. So a tech to tier 2 may indicate Mutalisk or may indicate Hydralisk at this stage in the game. Not very much of a very large army coming in and from Dimaga. Dimaga back over here now building a tech lab on this factory, so I guess he is not going to do okay, no, he is in fact going to do a swap, flying that factory over, going to lift over that barracks, start producing Marauders most likely out of that barracks, and then start producing Hellions out of that factory. So Dimaga with this Overlord will in fact see this, so now he really needs to be careful now, as double producing Hellions means that he needs that Roach Warren to be completed very, very soon. Roach Warren now being built, already used spawn larva, and should be producing as many of those roaches in just a moment. Zerglings are not a strong counter to those Hellions, as those Hellions will be doing 14 damage each. So without that internal pre-igniter upgrade, however, those Hellions will not be able to deal, will not be able to two-shot those Zerglings. Will in fact need a 3-shot. Roach Warren now completed, spawn larva just completed as well, and now Queen trying to spawn more larva as well, as those roaches now coming in, or those Hellions now coming in through that front door. Zerglings trying to perhaps getting a surround. They are in fact Speedlings, able to get a surround off on one of Jinro's Hellions, so very, very nicely done. Those Hellions perhaps should have done a little bit of engagement, so that very, very early gas was in fact to try to get that Speedling upgrade. Trying to get a scanner sweep in here to figure out what exactly the strategy is, and all he really sees is tier 2 with roaches and a spawning pool, so he does not know if he's going to be going for a Hydralisk or Hydralisk or a Mutalisk at this stage. Oh, sorry, Hydralisk and hiding over here in the shadows. So, and I take it back. He does know, in fact, what is currently being built. Second barracks now being put up. Reactor now reattached to that barracks, and now we have a changeling being spawned in quickly. Those marauders take down that one changeling, however, and units continue to move out once again. Command center just floating around. Gonna go ahead and start mining out of these minerals over here. Perhaps Dimaga may try to take down these backdoor destructible rocks, as there's still destructible rocks here, but never mind. Marauders quickly coming in, trying to destroy these rocks as well. And it feels like something's running in the background on my computer, causing a little bit of a delay. Thor is now being produced by Jinro, so not surprised by this strategy at all, as Hydralisk and Mutalisk are both fairly well countered by Thors. However, this one Overseer will need to pull back out in just a moment. Give me 1 second. Alright, coming back to the game. Those Marauders gonna be able to take down those destructible rocks. And I thought I heard, I believe that was a supply depot raising and lowering. Single bunker sitting off over here. Zerglings and Roaches taking down these destructible rocks as well. Not quite sure why these destructible rocks should even be removed at this stage in the game, as it's not really doing that much. Command center now upgraded to an orbital command, now calling down mules in order to try to get additional minerals. Jinro sitting on, now mining at 1,000 minerals a minute, but sitting on about 200 minerals at this stage. Single changeling now coming over as well, quickly making short work of that changeling once again. Thor is in fact up, and a second Thor now coming in. Those javelin missiles trying to shoot down that one Overseer being forced to pull back away. So javelin missiles dealing 32 damage per volley against that Overseer, salvaging that bunker. So that bunker has been taken down. Army-wise, well, Jinro sitting on a very large army, sitting on a 2,000 mineral army compared to Dimaga's 625. Dimaga really needs the... Dimaga doesn't really seem that focused at this stage in the game. Does in fact have an infestation pit, and we'll see if infestors are going to be used in order to try to counteract those Thors, and we'll see whether or not infestors are really that strong of a counter towards Thors. I just personally had a bad experience with them once, and I think that's why I'm a little bit jaded on the infestor, saying that the infestor is just so powerful. I lost, I believe, 6 Thors. And yeah, that's probably more of my problem. In infestors, someone told me that the infestor only had a range of 3 in terms of being able to neural parasite a unit. I don't think that's the case, but well, I'll have to quickly check on that. I think the Thor's range is 3 for this 250mm strike cannon. Once again, just talking about the game and the dynamics of the game at this stage. Overlord now trying to offer a little bit of oversight. Jinro now moving out with a Marine, for some reason not moving and attacking, and Dimaga's continuing to move out more and more Overlords. Infestor down over here. The Infestor Neuroparasite costing 50 energy and Fungal Growth costing 75 energy. So as much as a Psystorm, but it is essentially guaranteed to deal at least 36 damage if it does in fact hit. Back over here, sorry, hatchery now completed as well over here, now trying to mine out over here. Excuse me, as I seem to be going all over the place, as my computer doesn't seem to be responding that well. Orbital commands, very nice. Jinro has orbital commands attached to 3 factories at 4 and barracks at 5. So also multiple queuing on these barracks. Now this is just a personal request to Blizzard. It is it almost seems like Terran is at a disadvantage in terms of doing multiple select on buildings, just because even when you group all of your barracks together, you need a tab in between these buildings, just because the 2 on the tech labs and then 1 on the reactor, it really changes up how you assign those units. A second factory now being produced, more Thors being produced, so Jinro producing a lot of Thors. And unit-wise, is there enough infestors really counteract them? 5 infestors, 1 Overseer, a couple Hydralisks, a couple Zerglings as well. So 4 Thors now produced, a single factory down over here. Infernal Pre-Igniter has been researched, and Siege Tech now being Siege Tech yet to be researched as well. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Jinro and Dimaga here on Kulas Ravine.